Good Monday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to NBC News Daily. I'm Randy Stone with your Midday Ark-La-Miss update. Well, several of the Republicans in the presidential race, including DeSantis, have denounced charges against Trump. Trevor Sashoki reports on how this indictment shakes up the GOP.
As Florida and the nation prepare for another historic court appearance of former President Donald Trump.
It's totally historic that we've never seen a sitting president or a former president indicted in federal court.
The former president himself lashing out on the campaign trail.
You're watching Joe Biden try to jail his leading political opponent. Think of it. This is like third world country stuff. Trying to put his opponent, who's leading him by a lot, wants to put him in jail.
And Democrats urging people to let the justice system do its job.
No one is above the law, including Donald Trump. This indictment must now play out through the legal process without any outside political or ideological interference.
St. Petersburg College political science professor Tara Newsom said polling is showing a changing public opinion toward the 37-count federal indictment unsealed Friday against Trump.
But in this indictment, 63% of independents, which are really important in Florida and really important across the country, are really saying, hey, this is serious and we want to reserve judgment until we get to the bottom of these charges.
Newsom said many eyes are also on DeSantis, who has to walk a tightrope to win the Republican nomination over the current frontrunner.
Our own homegrown presidential candidate, Ron DeSantis, is, of course, continuing to walk that fine line between revealing how disappointing former President Trump's behavior is and not wanting to alienate his base.
Warming temperatures have cut down on crop yields for peach farmers. Tyler Komoda had the details.
Got started really late this year. I mean, it seemed like everything just was like a month behind. Our local farmers are just starting to bring in their local produce, which should have been probably in a month ago.
Georgia typically produces more than 130 million pounds of peaches per year. They only produced a quarter of that this year. According to the University of Georgia, the crop is valued at $85 million. But after unusually warm weather and a late season freeze, the majority of peach crops were damaged. This left vendors scrambling for alternatives. One local produce stand has decided to source their peaches from South Carolina.
We've been selling South Carolina peaches, so Georgia's crop has gotten affected really hard. The frost that we got this year affected it very much.
Davis says a significant portion of Georgia's peaches are canned and shipped internationally rather than being served fresh. Although Georgia is known as a peach state, it actually ranks third in production, behind California and South Carolina.
They've always had better quality of peaches. I mean, they're giant, they're usually juicy, beautiful. And Georgia, you know, they're usually a little bit smaller.
In order for peaches to properly develop, there must be a balance of warm and cold weather throughout the spring. Temperatures throughout the state were 6 degrees warmer than usual this year. The Atlanta Journal reports that the Georgia farmers will be losing around $60 million due to this shortage of peaches.
The season will be shorter. It looks like we won't have them as long as we would hope to have them later in the fall.
And now, Storm Tracker Doppler weather with meteorologist Chase Ward.
We're starting to see a spark of showers, thunderstorms starting to move into portions of our viewing area. And as we progress into this afternoon, we'll start to see the possibility of severe thunderstorms, some of them producing possible damaging winds, and some RTL are primary threats that we are looking at. A possible spin-up still cannot be ruled out, but the overall tornado threat remains relatively low. As we look into this afternoon, temperatures will stay a bit cooler than they have been the past couple of days. We'll be mainly in the mid-80s and looking at the upper 80s as we go around 4 o'clock later on today for our daytime high. Expecting 87 for a high here in Monroe. Rain chances staying around 60%. Some of these storms once again could be strong. The winds will stay mainly out of the north. As we look into tonight, we could see the possibility of more showers and thunderstorms. Some of these storms during the early morning hours going into tomorrow could possibly be severe once again, as rain can stay around 50% and winds will stay mainly out of the northeast. As we go into tomorrow morning, we could see more strong thunderstorms and could even see more thunderstorms as we go into the late evening hours tomorrow. Each of these storms could bring the possibility of strong winds, and hail are the main threats that we are looking at. Rain chances around 50% and winds will stay mainly out of the northeast. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast, we'll see more rain chances throughout this week, and we could even see more strong thunderstorms lingering as we go into Wednesday and also even on Thursday. But as we go into Friday and Saturday, we'll start to see a bit clearer skies. Temperatures, however, are going to be cranking up the heat as we go up to the mid-90s and possibly going into the upper 90s by Friday and Saturday, and rain chances could return by Father's Day next week.
That's it for our update. Last couple of days of go to Max, buy the bags, support the veterans. That's it.